It's easier to impact positive change and to really express yourself in a heartfelt, open way when you are detached and not necessarily disassociated or just kind of avoiding reality or anything along those lines, but more that you feel that you have a trust in the universe and that you have a trust in the flow of life, so that you don't have to control things so tightly. The more that we find ourselves trying to control things and really trying to push and pull like the flow of life around, it really shows that we're kind of operating from a place of mistrust. We want to find love and we want to find harmony and we want to be one with the spirit, but it's very difficult to do that when you don't trust in the way that the spirit flows into your life and informs your being from within. So to love something or to love someone or to love the spirit in this instance is to love yourself. And to love yourself is to allow yourself to kind of to be flexible and to stretch your limbs and to broaden your horizons, and don't keep yourself in a cramped, rigid kind of way of thinking because you don't necessarily trust that things are going to work out for you. It's actually, it's one of those kind of self-perpetuating illusions. We try to control things so tightly and then things don't work out, and then we use that failure as evidence to promote our kind of mistrust, and we say, see, it never works out. But you realize with a certain degree of humility and a certain degree of honesty, you realize that, well, maybe it doesn't work out because I'm trying too hard to control something that actually flows much easier and more harmoniously without my interference. Love and fear, they come from the same essence, but they kind of flow in contrary ways oftentimes. Because fear is kind of like, it's almost like holding back the flow of love, and it's almost like keeping love from fully expressing itself, like a flower that's most natural state is to bloom and to release its fragrance onto the wind, and yet it's almost afraid to unfurl its petals for whatever reason. Maybe the other flowers will laugh at it, or somebody will come along and think that it stinks. Like, oh, that doesn't smell nice. You're a stinky flower. Whatever it might be. And so we kind of get it in our minds that it's like, oh, I better wait to unfurl my petals. I better wait for the right conditions. I better wait for things to be more supportive of what I want to see in life. And yet the things that we really desire to see in life usually don't come to us until we really trust in the flow of life and are willing to open ourselves up to receiving that flow as well. This is something that I'm very much still learning, and this is part of like, but it's just realizing that when I just kind of unattach myself from a limited idea that I have in my mind, a limited kind of expectation, I realize that all the things that I want to see, really they are already coming to me. They're already wanting to flow out of me as well. And it really kind of brings to mind like the analogy where you ask the spirit for oranges. I want oranges. Give me an orange tree. Please, shower me with oranges. And then the spirit gives you apples and you dismiss it. You say, oh, that's no good because it's not what I asked for. But you realize that the spirit, not only has the spirit given you something that is worth having, apples are just as good as oranges in their own way, but maybe those apples would actually be better for you than the oranges that you thought you wanted. So oftentimes We get into an expectation, and we're usually creating these expectations. Again, it comes back to that we don't necessarily trust in the universe as much as we could. Maybe we don't necessarily trust in ourselves as much as we could. And so we create expectations from that kind of limited understanding. And so we're only seeing a percentage of what the universe is capable of giving us. And so we think, well, I've got to get what I can get while getting is good. And, well, the universe is actually much more wider and much more capable of accommodating you, as long as you kind of allow yourself to receive. So it really does come back, it's so, we sometimes believe that being a little person, what kind of power can I have? But it's literally, it all comes back to you and your own relation with yourself and your own relation with the universe. It's a participatory dance between you and God, between you and the Spirit. And when you become one with that and you trust in that fully, no matter what, you don't need to. It's okay if you fumble and stumble around a little bit. It's okay if things don't look the way that you want them to look immediately, because it's all part of undoing those kind of rigid expectations and those tight spots that you hold in your field, and you hold in your body and your mind. It's all part of the dance. And you start to realize that it's not being judged based on how elegant you are or how graceful you are. It's the clumsy, uncoordinated motions flow seamlessly into the elegant expressions. It's like you can be messy and beautiful all at the same time. You can be all the different kind of dualities of life and all the different what seem opposite to each other. You can be the ups and the downs and the lefts and the rights and all this stuff all at once, and lose really nothing of who you are and what you are and your connection to the source.